Today, we're diving into how a little bit of AI in your pocket is completely flipping the script on our access to the, let's face it, pretty complex world of chemistry. So, what would it actually mean to have a chemist on call 24/7? I mean, it sounds like something straight out of sci-fi, right? The idea that you could just point your phone at some super complicated scientific diagram and, poof, have it instantly translated into plain English. Well, that's not the future. That's exactly what we're looking at today.
But before we jump into the solution, we really need to understand the problem it's solving. It's a challenge that, anyone who's ever sat through a chem lecture or worked in a lab knows all too well. Let's call it the chemistry conundrum.
You've seen these things everywhere. These intricate little diagrams of lines and letters, they're scrawled on whiteboards, they're buried in dense textbooks, jotted down in notebooks. They're basically the language of chemistry. But for a lot of us, they can feel like a totally impenetrable wall.
And that's really the heart of the issue. For decades, figuring out what these structures actually are wasn't just a quick Google search. Nope, it took deep, specialized knowledge and, frankly, a lot of time. It's been a real bottleneck for learning and for research.
So what if you could just completely bypass that bottleneck? Well, that brings us to the solution. A really powerful tool that essentially puts an AI chemist right in your pocket. It's an app, and it's called MoleculeWise. But honestly, thinking of it as just an app kind of undersells it. It's way more powerful to think of it as a universal translator, one that's totally fluent in the language of molecules and can translate it for the rest of us.
And the way it works could not be simpler. Step 1, you just snap a photo of a structure. Step 2, the AI in the cloud crunches on it for a few seconds. And step 3, boom, you get this super detailed breakdown. What's really cool is that every single result gets saved automatically, so you're building your own personal offline library of molecules. It's all about accessibility.
Okay, so you get the name of the molecule. That's useful, for sure. But the real power of this thing, where it gets really interesting, is what happens next. It goes way, way beyond just a simple name. This is where it goes from just identification to true understanding. The app doesn't just hand you a name. It gives you what you can only describe as a complete molecular dossier, a full-on intelligence report on the compound you just scanned. And just look at the sheer breadth of this information. It's staggering. You get everything from the official, fancy scientific name, the IUPAC name, all the way down to its common uses in your daily life. You'll learn its molecular weight, its melting point, how it dissolves, and even, and this is absolutely crucial, safety info on how to handle it properly. This isn't just identification. It's a whole education in one tap.
And that really gets to the core of it. The developers themselves put it perfectly. They said their goal is to bridge that gap between super complex chemical knowledge and just everyday accessibility. It's about connecting the specialized world of chemistry with anyone who has a question and a smartphone.
And this leads us to the much bigger picture. Because when you put a tool this powerful into the hands of millions of people, it does way more than just help with homework. It actually starts to unlock science itself. A huge part of that unlocking is making it global. The app gives you all those detailed results in over 90 languages. Yeah, 90. From Spanish and Mandarin to Swahili and Bengali. This isn't just a feature. It's a very conscious effort to tear down language barriers in science education all over the world. So who's actually using this thing? Well, as you'd probably guess, students are the biggest group. But look at the rest of this pie. You've got researchers, teachers, lab workers, and my favorite slice, the 5% who are just curious. That right there shows you just how wide the appeal is when you make complex stuff easy to get your head around. And that really is the main takeaway here. A tool like this isn't just a tool, it's a key. It's a key that can unlock doors for students who are maybe intimidated by chemistry, for researchers who need answers faster, and for teachers who are looking for cool new ways to get their classrooms excited. Of course, with any AI tool, you gotta ask the question about data and privacy. It's paramount. And the developers are incredibly clear on this. No data is shared with third parties, period. And the app itself doesn't collect any of your personal data for its analysis. Your search history, it stays right there, locally on your device. That commitment to privacy is absolutely essential for building the trust you need for people to actually use it. Ultimately, the impact of something like this all comes down to one really powerful idea: democratization. It takes a capability that was once reserved for, high-end, well-funded labs and makes it available to literally anyone with a phone. That is a massive, profound shift.
And that just leaves us with this one fascinating final thought to chew on. We've seen what this kind of thing can do for chemistry, but what's next? What other super complex fields, things like engineering blueprints or biological diagrams, maybe even complex musical scores? What could a camera and a little bit of AI make instantly understandable for all of us? The possibilities there are just really, really exciting to think about.